Hello, more Starvaders. I know it's been a while, but we're back. Yeah, I've been a little bit busy as of late with my studies. I'm currently doing a master's, and that's taken a bit of a bite out of my time to do all this other stuff on the side. But I still figured I should do my best to like drop a few episodes here and there, because despite being busy and everything else, I still do very much love this game, and I wanted to pump out a little content for it here and there. And I figured today we would continue on with our Zero to Hero series to see if we can farm a few more achievements on the side here. I think the last time, let's just see where we were before. It has been a while for me. Yes, the last time we played Kaya, that was a very fun run. If I remember correctly, we were very dedicated to farming, like basically upgrading our whole deck so that we could make very good use of Thunder Squall. It's a very fun card, but it's very much a all or nothing kind of card where if it works, it nukes the whole board. If it doesn't work, it's just kind of dead. You kind of need to know what you're doing to really engage with this, and yeah, sometimes unfortunately we'll just blow up in your face. It is what it is though. We still managed to have a good amount of fun there, and I think today we're actually going to run back onto the Gunners. I'm gonna keep, well, I'm gonna keep Keeper off the bench for a little bit until we have fully explored these two first mechs, and then we'll run over there, because Keeper kind of throws a lot of additional systems and weird considerations into the mix when you start playing them, and I don't think we're ready for that just yet. Let's run it back to Gunner. Do I want to... I don't know. I guess, you know what, let's run it back to Roxy. It's been a whole minute since we've played her. And yeah, let's do Post-Apocalypse with her today. To get all the achievements, eventually we'll need to do all 5 of these challenges for every single pilot. So I think whenever we do a mech, if all the pilots have yet to do like one of these 3 difficulties, it'll be dealer's choice. I can choose who to play, but once like we get past this, how to say, like I won't touch Post-Apocalypse until on any of the Gunners until like every Gunner has beaten Post-Apocalypse. So we'll do this stuff with Roxy today and see how far we can get. Just a quick refresh on how Roxy works. For those of you who have been watching, you'll be rather familiar with how the energy systems work for Gunner. You get 3 heat sinks every turn. Every card that you play fills it up by however much it says up here, and if you ever go over, let's say if you spent a 4th heat during a turn, you will overheat. The card that you played becomes burnt and unplayable for the rest of that fight. And you basically, then your turn ends. So you can, if you wanted to, temporarily exceed your max energy gauge by playing an extra card, but that'll come with punishments. And Firestarter, which is what Roxy starts with, really encourages you to take this line in these shorter fights, because when the first time you burn a card every single fight by overheating, you start your next turn with a massive advantage of drawing 2 extra cards and getting 2 extra heat sink. She's a very interesting character, especially in the early game. There's a lot of like cool lines you can take to push your own luck and make sure that like you can, especially when the fights get a little more difficult, right? The game very much pushes you to take risks and burn your cards and like stretch yourselves a little bit thin so that you can kill the enemies on time. Yeah, let's see if we can do some of that today. Yeah, that's gonna start with it's gonna start with this choice of buds. Respite is a very weird thing. Currently, it is a very good move, especially since it starts with this component here of boosted. And it would work with all the zero-cost synergies out there. We can move ourselves. Technically, we can move enemies with it as well, if we wanted to. Unfortunately, whatever we move will get a shield, so that can be a little problematic in some spots. We can also use Respite to protect anything that we summon that we want to protect. A notable example that I can think of right now is My Little Friend. That card, by itself, only stays on the grid for a single turn because it automatically strikes itself at the end of the turn. But if we have Respite and move it a little bit, not only do we get to reposition it, we also give it a shield, which lets it stick around for a little bit longer. I think, you know what, Respite, I will pick it up. It has a lot of... It starts out being pretty okay. If we have already moved, we can cast it twice. That's kind of nice. It costs 0 and just lets us move, which is also pretty good. And also, like, it has a lot of potential synergy with other components of the Guardian pack. I don't think we've seen... Oh yeah, we have seen Seraphim, and we haven't seen this yet, but yeah. This is a card that really... Oh, I guess Seraphim is weirdly not that synergistic with Respite, although... I don't know. Helping Hand will definitely benefit off of Respite, and then we can eventually get it to work with this card as well. We'll figure it out. Yeah, I don't think... let me just check the list of modifiers here. Yeah, we don't even get the echoes out here, so like protecting ourselves isn't even that big of a priority. Sorry, the more that I talk and the more that I think, I'm more thinking that like maybe Respite just isn't entirely necessary. I think instead, you know what, I'm gonna pick up Remote and Crossfire. Crossfire doesn't read to be super impressive, but it's just had a very strong proven track record of being excellent. You fire a bullet upwards, and whenever it hits something, or if it reaches the end of its like natural trajectory at the end of the board, it'll split and fire sideways into 2 bullets. Which this lets you reach some spots that you otherwise would need to like move to reach. It can like take care of 3 enemies all at once. For 2 mana, it's actually a very good investment. And the other card that I'm taking here is this Remote. 1 mana, move 2. And then you push all bombs in the same direction, but it also has the fire, the fire component, which will let us fire a bullet after it resolves. Yeah, Remote lets us push our bombs around. When they bump into enemies, they will damage them, and then the bombs will presumably also explode. It's a good time. It has proven to be a little clunky in some spots, but ultimately it's like totally serviceable as a card, and because it comes with a component here, I'll very happily pick it up. These other 2 cards are whatever. Like, Artillery Strike is a fine card. Tempt Fate, kind of a wash by itself. You kind of need some other ways to make it really good. Yeah, in any case, I feel pretty good about picking these 2 cards up here, and I think they're going to help us have a relatively smooth early game. Let's see what we run up against in World 1. Gemini. Do I want to dupe all the cards in my deck right now? I don't think so. I don't have anything great that I'm wanting to dupe. Yes, you do get to, like, remove cards at the same rate that you otherwise would. In that, like, your deck size doubles, but you also get, like, you can remove twice the number of cards. So technically you could, like, cull a bunch of bad cards from your deck and then have more of the good ones left over. But getting it also requires us to pick up Clumsy permanently, which I'm not a big fan of. Do I want a rare card? It's gonna be a pretty terrifying situation with all these Migos, but let's give it a shot. I think rare cards early can be pretty exciting. Let's see what the game decides to give us. Yeah, beautiful. So we're gonna start, I think, yeah, with this Crossfire. So you can see the trajectory here. It's gonna fire, bump into this Migo, kill it, and then split off into 2 separate bullets, which will kill these 2. We're then going to do this, and you know what? I think I will also use Firestarter by burning this fire. So you can see we went over a heat gauge, which ended our turn and burnt that card. But now, because of Firestarter, we're going to start this next turn with an extra 2 heat gauge and 2 cards, which is pretty huge. So then what I'm going to do is I'll walk up here, put this Nova Bomb here, which when this thing is struck, it explodes, and it will strike all the adjacent tiles. So when I fire this bullet up here, you can see it'll explode and kill all 3 of these Migos. So, yeah. for those of you who are just tuning in now, first of all, welcome, and let me just give you a quick breakdown on how this game works. You start on a grid, this thing is you got cards in your hand, you can play them to kill the enemies that are coming down. Your goal is to prevent them from reaching these bottom 3 rows on the grid. If an enemy reaches it, they'll start channeling Doom, and if they spend a turn there without you being able to take care of them, well, they will channel Doom, and if I ever reach 5 Doom, I will lose. So I'm going to do my best to make sure that doesn't happen. We're going to try to finish the fight off here by killing those 3 with Crossfire, again, doing God's work, and then we're going to finish it with a remote. This enemy here is a Time Angel. Whenever we kill it, we get a pretty big payouts, but the catch here is they only spawn towards the end of a wave, and if you leave them alone for 2 turns, they'll just escape and fly away. They don't really threaten you, but it's always a good idea to try to catch them. And a little, how should I say, like a little bit of a unknown thing that it's very easy to miss in my opinion. It's that if a Time Angel is alone on the map after you've killed all the other enemies, it will just self-destruct and still give you the payout. So that's what we're going to do here. And yeah, good bit of money. We took care of this pretty easily. Okay, what are we taking here? Devour. Strike any entity and the adjacent tiles to its left and right, and then you spawn some Void Rifts. I guess, yeah, this is a way... This comes... Yeah, the Void Rifts are these little cubes that, when you destroy them, they give you a little bit of non-fatal doom. The idea being that, like, this card comes from the... yeah, this card comes from this pack, the Abyssal pack, which is, like, very much centered around you putting cards in your deck that potentially channels Doom, and then benefiting off of it with some of the other things. I don't think we're gonna be ready to pick it up here, because there is a much better card, in my opinion, in the pack, Backfire. You get to move 1 to 3 tiles in any direction, and then to whichever direction you moved away from, you fire 3 bullets in that direction. It's a very powerful card. It rolls movements and firepower all into one package. Very importantly for gunners as well, this card lets you fire in any direction from your mech as long as you meet its requirements of like moving in the opposite direction, which is very valuable for gunners. Because most of your cards are going to fire upwards. This makes it usually like pretty difficult for you to deal with threats that are like behind you or to the sides of you, but Backfire solves this problem, and it also has synergies with some other very potent cards that we might run into later in the run, so we'll definitely be picking this up. Decoy Bombs here, a fine card. It makes 2 Decoy Bombs, which unlike the bomb that you saw earlier, they don't actually have that much of an explosion radius, but you get 2 of them with this, and whenever one of them blows up, you draw a card. These can be used to block enemy movements, they can synergize with other bomb cards, but I think I'm just going to take Backfire here and be very happy. Alright, what's next? An upgrade or a card? I'm not super jazzed about either of those, although an upgrade might not be bad, honestly. I'm gonna search for something slightly more exciting than this, though. Maybe another rare card, maybe an artifact. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I think I'll pick this up and just see where it gets us. Gunners actually have a lot of very exciting... Oh. Yeah, Gunners actually have a lot of pretty exciting artifacts that are at their disposal. I just want to see what we can potentially pick up here. Yeah, I'm doing the same thing I did in the first fight, which is start the first turn with a burn, which lets us really accomplish a lot more on this second turn here. Yeah, I am really stretching myself to take care of as many of these enemies quickly in the early game here. Yeah, as it turns out, because burning only lasts the current fight, if you're able to end the fight quickly, you just don't suffer any of the consequences, like we did here. we really pushed the limit on how much we're supposed to burn our cards, but because the fight ended quickly, everything's actually okay. What do we take here? I'm a pretty big fan of Ultra Coolants. Wormhole is very good, Minefield is whatever, but like I think it's in a spot like this, it is between these two cards. Ultra Coolant replaces all the shifts in your deck, which these are serviceable, but they're not exactly what you would want. It replaces all of them with like 3 copies of a random move card, which I think almost all of them are just straight up better than the shifts. And you also go from 5 mediocre cards to 3 good cards, which really slims down your deck and let you draw your good cards more often. Ultra Coolant, especially early, is a very powerful artifact. I think it is what we're going to be picking up here. But the alternative here is Wormhole. When you pick it up, you get all your Chrono tokens back, and the very strong effect here is after you rewind, which is when you click this button during a fight to revert to the start of your turn, you get a warp in your hand. Normally, you do this rewind in fights as like an oh crap button. You click it because the turn has gone horribly wrong and there are threats that you cannot address without dying. Wormhole, in addition to like letting you redo that turn by like redrawing a new hand, etc., it gives you warp, which lets you move to any tile and draw 3 cards in addition to whatever else you had going on in your hand. This basically lets you gets you out of like any situation you can imagine, because it helps you reposition, it gets you more resources to work with, and it's free. It also has some potential synergies, like if you were to somehow upgrade in mid-combat, there is a potential for it to just like take on the mirror component, which will let you have this like every time you shuffle your deck. That's incredibly powerful. But yeah, if Ultra Coolant weren't here, I would be taking Wormhole over like a very large number of artifacts, but we're going to be picking Ultra Coolant. We'll see what we end up with. Okay. A little concerning. Ultra Coolant gave us 3 copies of Rush, which is a very good artifact. Sorry, it's a very good move card. For 0 mana, you get to move 1 to 2 tiles, whereas all the shifts only moved 1 to 2. But yeah, this one lets you move 1 to 4 tiles, whereas the shifts only lets you move 1 to 2 tiles. This is a massive range upgrade, and it'll let us reposition very freely. The problem is, whenever you do this, it strikes your mech, which can be a bit of a problem, because every time your mech gets damaged, it's going to produce a jam and put it into your deck. So these cards don't do anything. You draw them and you can't really like get any use out of them. The only thing that you can do is to play them and purge them so that they don't stay around in your deck. Something you can do though is to play them as your final card of the turn and burn them, and they will still get purged, so they won't stick around in your deck as like an unplayable burned card in that case, which is what we're going to be doing a lot. Still though, I would prefer if we didn't have to deal with this whole like striking your mech thing. We do have we do have the Seraphim pack, which can give you shields. We could pick up Seraphim, literally, or if we see another Respite, now I will be much more interested to pick it up. Yeah, any ways to mitigate the downside there would be very helpful. Let's see what the shop gives us. I'm very interested in Insulation here, actually. This card says, the first time you draw a junk or burnt card each turn, draw a card. Well, we're going to be taking on a lot of junks with the rushes, because every time we play one, that's going to be 1 extra junk put into our deck. The one downside of that would be that like we draw too many junks and not enough useful cards, and that causes us to not have a great time out here. But Insulation's really going to help us by just drawing us extra cards every time we run into a junk. So we'll be picking that up. The question now is, what else do I pick up? I could pick up a Dark Power. A Dark Bargain, I mean. Dark Power looks kind of sick, honestly. We can use it to repeat our remotes, we can use it to repeat our crossfires, we can use it to repeat, like, Nova Bombs. I don't hate it. Yeah, it's, like, at worst... Oh yeah, you can also technically... You can technically also use these, play these as the last card of your turn. Yeah, you can actually burn the dark powers because of how because it purges itself. You know what? We're gonna pick up Dark Bargain. I think we're gonna get a lot of mileage out of it. The strongest application of these dark powers, which by the way, they give a card in your hand +1 repeat and make it free the next time you play it. We can actually use it to target. We can use it to target Crossfire. We can use it to target Backfire. That lets us play these 2-cost, very powerful and strong cards for just 1 mana, and we get to play them twice, which is going to be very strong. Alright, I think with that we're pretty ready to take on whatever the game's going to throw at us. Oh, the Shambler. I think this is the first time we're running into them on this profile. This is an alternate Act 1 boss that we can run into. So we're going to pick up this strange offer here, because again, we're going to fight the Overseer. And we'll see what the Shambler has in store for us. I feel, as it currently stands, very good about how this deck is panning out, so I'd be pretty surprised if we somehow lost. We'll see, though. Anything can happen, truly. Do I want to burn this now? I think I can hold on for just a little bit longer. Wait, where's... Oh, I see. The Dark Powers actually get shuffled into my discard. Ah. So we're going to rush up here. So you see that struck us and gave us a junk. And then we're going to backfire in this direction. Okay. Not what I expected to happen, because I guess the Shambler, whenever you strike it, it gets another shield and spawns some enemies. So those enemies actually spawn mid-resolution of my card, which, not great. But I think we're still going to be fine. And then, you know what, I'm going to use this rush now to preemptively position myself a little bit closer to the action, so that, yeah, we take on another junk, but that gets me closer to whatever's going on here, which should put me in a better position to respond. So we're going to go here. I'm going to Dark Power this Triple Fire, which lets me play it twice for free. Yeah, then we're just going to burn this Jam. We're going to Dark Bargain. I guess, yeah, it's a little bit rough to not draw these when you would expect to, but I think it's all good. Let's do this. 1, 2, 3, and then we're actually going to burn this junk as our 4th heat for the turn, which sidesteps the penalty you would normally receive with it. I guess we can actually, yeah, we could Dark Power the Dark Power, which then lets us Dark Power the bomb, Dark Power the remote, and we can also Dark Power the Nova Bomb. Yeah. So this lets us play this twice. Once here. We can do that again here, and then we'll hit him again like this. Then yeah, why not? Why don't we just Triple Fire here as well, and we'll get rid of that junk. I think we're doing pretty well, all things considered. And then, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Let's Dark Power the Crossfire, which now makes it free. Yeah, I guess we're pretty much there. Let's just finish off the boss. Beautiful. Okay, what are we gonna take here? Could pick up Furnace. Furnace is a good card. We currently don't have any ways to... Oh, we could. I just realized we could actually... Yeah, Furnace will give... Once we reach like the 3rd heat, we can actually use Dark Power twice with Furnace. We can also, like, use like, go up to the 3rd heat with Dark Power to give something in our hand, like, an extra repeat. Yeah, sorry. For those not familiar, Furnace says, while you have 3 or more heat, each of your cards gets +1 repeat. You might then ask, like, oh, we only have 3 heat gauge. How is this ever good? Well, for starters, you can always, while at 3 heat, play another card to overheat, which would then make it benefit from Furnace. That's the level 1 usage of Furnace. But if you manage to get to 3 heat in your heat sink, and some of the cards in your hand are free, such as if we just made them free with Dark Bargain, like this, the Crossfire, the Backfire, the Remote, the Bomb, all of those would be kind of sick. We can also give them a repeat with Furnace. And also, if we get to 3 heat and have a Dark Power in our hand, we're able to like give this thing +1 repeat with Furnace and not suffer any of the consequences of burning it, because, well, this card purges itself after we play it. So a lot of good ways we can use Furnace. I was considering like re-rolling to look for Seraphim or something else that's like a little more on theme, but I think Furnace, normally just a very, very strong artifact, it's still going to be perfectly awesome even in this context. We're going to pick this up and feel pretty good about where we're currently at. You know what? We actually have a lot of really awesome cards in our deck. I feel pretty good about like going here for an upgrade and just seeing what they're willing to give us. We could do some... Oh, actually, I guess this fight just isn't very long in general. That's interesting. Kill those. Yeah, not too much to talk about over there, unfortunately. Oh, you know what? A swift triple fire here could do some numbers. Yeah, I don't necessarily like either of these here. Like, we're gonna be making this thing free pretty frequently. Reducing the heat cost by 1 is still very good, but like if we're living in an ideal world, I don't think we're gonna necessarily be doing this. We could actually take the risky Dark Bargain here. That might be pretty nice. Just giving it like letting us make 4 Dark Powers every time. Because these actually stack pretty well. The third option here would just like put a move on the triple fire, which it lets us reposition it right before firing it. This is a card that like really fluctuates in value depending on where you currently are in relation to the enemy, so there's a lot of value in giving it a move. I don't know. That's tough. I think I'll pick up the move on the triple fire and just feel relatively content. And you know what? Let's upgrade something again. I don't hate this line of thinking at all. Just see where we can get. Yeah, let's start with that, and then we'll go here. Oh, geez, that's a lot of stuff. Do I want to burn? Yeah, you know what? Let's burn a triple fire here. That plays it twice. That gets rid of some of this mounting pressure from all the like slime cube pluses that came down, but we are gonna unfortunately burn that fella in the process. So I say we start here. One, two, three. 1 and a 2. Yeah, we can now finish this fight extremely early by killing everything, and then again, because we finished the fight at this like extremely early timing, we were able to just get through all of that without suffering any of the consequences. Okay, what do we pick up here? Giving Backfire Piercing is pretty tempting because that really ups its output. Another thought here is to give the Nova Bomb Frosty. That lets us burn it repeatedly without worrying about it. I've talked about this in length before. So, whenever something is frosty, it becomes burnt. Even when it's burnt, whenever we draw it, it unburns it. It becomes frozen when we draw it. So a card that's frozen just stays in our hand. So what we can do with a card like this is we can take our turn normally, and then when we're out of heat gauge space, we can play this freely. it'll burn, go to the discard pile, but then when we draw it again, it'll unburn and then be playable again. Honestly, pretty tempting to just pick that up, honestly. That's going to give us a pretty easy and guilt-free way to trigger Firestarter early. It also works with Furnace. You know what? I'm on board. Let's pick that up and see what happens. Sounds like a good time. Ooh, Fire Everything. I think we've got a pretty good deck for Fire Everything. One of my favorite cards of all time, and yeah, it's just gonna... So whenever we play Fire Everything, it draws every card with fire in its title, including this remote, which has been modified with the fire exclamation mark or component. So it's gonna first shuffle our discard pile into the draw pile, and then draw and play all the cards with fire in its title for free. So we get to like just fire like 20 different bullets all at once. The crossfires, the backfire, all the triple fires. And because we have backfire and triple fire and remote, these fire cards that let us reposition, we're actually able to like kill a bunch of enemies and then move in the middle of our fire chain and then keep firing. It's just too much fun to pass down. We could take gift card here. I don't think that would be crazy, but I think this is just a much better time for me. And you know what? We'll also pick up Explosive Shield. This gives an Explosive Shield to a non-bomb entity. We can give that to ourselves to mitigate the downside of Rush. I think that's probably what we're going to be doing for the most part, because, yeah, that means that whenever that... Not only does that shield negate a hit, which can, like, let us not get hurt by Rush, it also will blow up whenever the shield is broken, which can be can help us set up a pretty neat combo of like Explosive Shield on ourselves, and then we rush into the middle of enemies, which then breaks the shield and lets it explode. So yeah, lots to like there. Let's see what we're up against. The Hive. Bunch of bees. I don't think we've run into these guys either, at least on this profile before, but they're good fun. They're a good time to fight. So you'll see on the field here, there's going to be a bunch of these hives. And up top, there are these 3 queen bees. Our objective is to kill all 3 of them. They start out on the first turn immune, and then after this first turn, they're going to start hiding in all of these beehives. And we and also whenever we blow up one of these beehives, sometimes we'll find the queen bee hidden inside, and then we can kill her. But these other bees can just spawn from the beehives. They'll slowly move downwards, try to hit us, and it's not great, but you know, it is what it is. We kind of just gotta work with it. Alright, there's the bees going in there. So yeah, let's... I guess... Let's go here. Let's just fire everything, yeah, why not? 1, 2... Oh yeah, because we have 3 heat gauge in our bank, this is actually going to be like, every one of these is going to be doubled. That's awesome. Beautiful. Yeah, let's just pass the turn here, no need to get too greedy. So yeah, these queen bees are still going to run back into their hives after all that and try to hide from us, but you can't hide forever. I'm coming for you. Pick this up, we can go here. So yeah, now I'm going to demonstrate that combo I talked about earlier where we're able to yeah, like give ourselves the Explosive Shield and then rush in to kill everything that like within our explosion radius, which is pretty neat. Then we'll go here. I think I'll play this jam, and actually I'll keep this Nova Bomb in our hand so that we can use it to burn something later. Okay, that is a little problematic for me, but I think we're gonna be still just fine. We can give that. Yeah, we're gonna be totally cool here. It's all good. So now that we have killed one of the 3 queen bees, the other queen bees are going to start hiding again, and they're going to spawn more hives. This basically repeats 3 times, escalating in difficulty until we finish everything. burn this fella. That activates a fire starter. Also lets us get 2 bombs out here, which is pretty nice. Ooh. Oh my god. Oh my god. Hold on. That's sick. Let me figure this out. So yeah, I'm thinking, now that we have 5 heat sinks, we're able to, if we get above 3, we can Dark Power, give Fire Everything the +1 repeat twice, and then we can play it a whole 3 times with all of this. That should just wipe the board. So let's take a moment to set this up. So priority number 1 is actually to put as many of your fire cards into your draw pile as you can. So then we do this. Now we Dark Power, give this thing... Oh my god, we're gonna give it 4x. So yeah, we're gonna be able to basically like play our whole deck 4 times over, which is pretty awesome, in my opinion. Oh, actually, yeah, the fight's literally just gonna be immediately over. That's pretty funny. It's still not over. Yeah, what can I say? Like, Furnace was really showing how strong it can be. Fire Everything did a whole lot of work there, which I really, really appreciated. I wonder what we should pick up here. I don't necessarily mind picking up Jester because we have a lot of ways of making junk with rushes. Do I want to reroll at all? Because I'm not super interested in these other 2 cards. They're not all that in a bag of potato chips. We could actually... I'm realizing maybe Red Giant isn't so bad because it gives us an extra explosion radius on both the explosive shields and the Nova Bomb, and the only card that's the Red Giant will add heat cost to is going to be the Nova Bomb, which we don't necessarily mind because it already has this like frozen ability. You know what? I think it's actually a Red Giant kind of day. We can do some pretty fun things with it, in my estimation. And you know what? We got so many awesome cards in our deck. I'm feeling another upgrade. Let's see what else we can come up with here. We can fire here, rush up here, and then we'll crossfire everything as well. Yeah, we didn't pick up... I was gonna say, like, let's see what Gesture can do. I kind of forgot that we just didn't actually pick it up. Ah, rookie move from me. So yeah, here's something we can do. We can run it up here. Now that explosion is 1 bigger than it usually would be, which is pretty huge. I think we can do this. Yeah, then we can put some bombs here. Yeah, let's chill. We can remote here. That'll kill both the ghosts there and that fella. You know what? I could go on a whole like fire everything turtle turn, but I don't think we really need to see that. There's just 1 ghost left. Let's kill it. Let's move on with our lives. Oh. Oh. Say less, man. Say less. 1 extra repeat on the fire everything. You didn't have to say that twice. Let's see. Yeah, you saw how awesome it was to repeat fire everything. It just like does all the things that it were doing over and over again, which like it really lets us extend our turn and just kill the entire board. Putting the risky the risky modifier on it, as long as we are currently in a danger zone, it'll let us do everything again, which is gonna be extremely awesome. You gotta give me a sec. I have to, yeah, I gotta go for just a brief moment, but I'll be right back. Oh, oops. I just realized that didn't actually cut out of the recording. I was supposed to hit the pause button, but we're back. Sorry about that. I don't know. I don't think that was too long. Maybe we'll just leave it in. You know, maybe we'll just figure it out. And yeah, I do feel that we're extremely powerful here. I feel pretty confident that we can take on a tile like this for an artifact, which I'm pretty excited about that. Yeah, these void cubes are gonna be all around here. Oh, did I accidentally burn my card? I did, didn't I? Oops. That sucks. Yeah, these void cubes are gonna be spawning on the grid here because of the map we're on, and basically every time one of them breaks, they will give us a little bit of doom. It's non-lethal, so it can't actually kill us, but still pretty annoying. You would prefer to avoid it if you could. Yeah. So now... let's do a little bit of fire everything here. We unfortunately didn't meet the requirements to, like, play it a million times because we couldn't, like, land a dark power on it ahead of time, but still, this is gonna give us... this is gonna clear out most of the board for us, which is gonna be pretty nice. And then we'll end the turn with a double Frosty Bomb here just to burn it. So yeah, everything's chill as far as I can see. Whatever. Unfortunately, nothing to dark power there. I still just wanted to use it. Just need anything at all, and yeah, that's it. Beautiful. Ooh, Bomber Mech? Bomber Mech with Rush and Red Giant's actually kind of awesome. So, what does Bomber Mech do? It turns our mech into a bomb, which means that anything that refers to bombs now also refer to our mech. And anytime our mech is struck, it blows up and strikes adjacent tiles. So this counts as an explosion, which works with Red Giant to make it one radius bigger. You'll notice that we have a bunch of these rushes in our deck, which, when we move, strikes us. So, with Red Giants and Bomber Mech, that's going to mean that every time we move with one of these, it's going to cause a huge explosion. I think that's going to be really awesome. Flint and Steel, Multi-Pass, both of these are really good artifacts, but Bomber Mech is just perfect for us. For what it's worth, Remote will also Remote will also see us as a bomb whenever we have Bomber Mech, so that'll whenever we move with Remote, it'll actually move us in the exact same direction in extra time. So that's kind of fun. Although there is a downside, I guess. Now we can't use Explosive Shield on ourselves. Might be a bit of a problem. We'll figure it out, though. I guess we can always just Explosive Shield an enemy, which will then also blow it up with Red Giant. Yeah, that's actually totally fine, I think. What to do, what to do. I don't like any of these, I gotta be honest. And I really want to be able to spend my money at least a little bit. Reactor Burn's fine. It's not great. Annihilation. I don't really want to deal with that. Not a great fan of Storm Chaser in this spot. Quantum Burns, whatever. Yeah, let's just restock and see what else the game has for us. Well, say hello to. That's a nice target for Explosive Shield. Oh my god. That's really good with, that's also really good with Fire Everything. Yeah, we're definitely picking up Say Hello To, and then I think we'll also get Slow Burn here. Slow Burn basically refreshes our Fire Starter artifact even after we have used it, so we can, like, use it over and over again. I think throughout our turns we're going to have a lot of opportunities to use Firestarter repeatedly by burning the Nova Bomb, burning the junks that we generate with Rush, or burning the dark powers as they come up, so I think we're going to get a lot of mileage out of Slow Burn. It's just a fantastic card. Alright, feeling very, very good going into these final two fights. We're not going to deal with Doom Ritual, I just don't feel like it. Let's... yeah, jammed, whatever. Alright, let's kill Grandmaster, and then let's go fight the Overseer. So yeah, here is where I'll demonstrate the power of... I guess maybe we're not going to be in that big of a rush to use it yet, but you can see by the demonstration here, if I were to rush in here, I would explode with a radius of 2, which is absolutely huge for a 0 mana card that like also moves you. It's kind of crazy. We're going to be getting a lot of mileage out of that, I think, as the fight goes on. Okay. So let's go here. Let's give this knight a explosive shield, slow burn, and then... yeah. Let's rush into here to get us into a danger zone. And now we'll be able to fire everything twice. 1, 2... yeah, we do have to kill this queen because as long as she is alive, the Grandmaster will be invulnerable. We kind of have to kill him to get anywhere with this. Yeah, unfortunately, we won't get to fire off the rest of all of this entire... oh, maybe we will. It turns out we will. We get to actually just keep playing after the Grandmaster has done his thing. Well, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, pretty sure then I can just double that up as well. Beautiful. Oh, that was awesome. Let's see what else we can do here. Oh, here is the tech I was speaking of earlier. We can put, say hello to my, yeah, we can put my little friend here, which on our turn it is invulnerable, but normally, yes, sorry. Let's start with what it actually does. Whenever it's on the field, it copies all the bullets that we fire with cards that have fire in their title. You saw how many bullets we just fired with Fire Everything. It's gonna be crazy, crazy. The problem is, if we let pass the turn, it's gonna strike itself, which will mean that it goes away. We'll have to cast it again if we want to make use of it. But while we have while we have the explosive shield here, we can actually give it to it, and that'll let it stick around for an extra turn, which can be incredible. I think then we'll just do this. Do I even want to do that? Not really. Let's just take it easy with that, yes? Yeah, I'll then just burn this junk, and then I will play this Nova Bomb here. Oh, that kills it. Ah! That was a blunder. I made a mistake there. I kind of forgot that the bomb there would also detonate and damage the little guy. Unfortunate, but definitely not something we can't recover from. Let's do this. Do that. Yeah, I think we can just do this as well. Burn that junk. Get it out of our deck. Yeah, another thing that the Grandmaster has access to is that while any chess pieces next to him, he is invulnerable. So we have to kind of kill all the pieces that are like guarding him nearby, which shouldn't be too big a problem for us. We'll just do this. Yeah, I think we can just do this. And then, yeah, I'll burn this checkmate, get it out of my hand so that it does not spawn another queen. And yeah, this will be the final phase of Grandmaster. Oh my, oh my. I think we're gonna have a field day out here. I think we're gonna have a very good time. Yeah. So I'm gonna line this guy up to here because he's gonna be able to hit a lot of what's going on up here. Let's give him an explosive shield because he's been such a good little guy. Yeah, we'll get this guy out of our hand. So that's about everything we can play without overheating. So now we'll play this fire everything for free. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's actually gonna, oh my god, this is actually gonna let me move him. It's kinda crazy. Yeah, that will end the fight. Wow. This deck really just took some of my favorite cards, and is like bringing out their full potential. Both My Little Friend, Fire Everything, Red Giant's doing work, Bombermech's doing work. I'm having a very good time today. Yeah, it's our first episode after a very long break, but you know, I'm still enjoying the game even after all this time, which I'm pretty happy about. Let's put this bomb over here that'll burn it, activate Firestarter, while also taking care of that guy with the help of the other fellas. Okay. I think let's just get the obvious things out of the way here. We can do this. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have made it a bomb yet, because now this makes the positioning a little bit awkward. Let's do this. Yeah, this will spawn a bunch more fellas. Let's do that, and yeah, now we can fire everything. While the Little Friend is immune on our turn, unfortunately we are not immune, so if we remote a little too aggressively, that's going to cause us to bump into things, which not a huge fan of that. Yeah, we're gonna unfortunately generate a bunch of junk from doing all this weird stuff. That is actually gonna put us directly into phase 2, which might be a little tad dangerous now that I look at it. I think this will also actually delete our, right, going to phase 2 is actually also going to delete our Little Friend here, which might be a little bit problematic. Let's just hope nothing goes super wrong here. Uh-oh, things are going super wrong, y'all. I think we can cope, at least for a little bit. but you know what? That actually made that wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. We still have basically a deck full of junk in our backyard here, but I'm hoping it's not going to be too bad. Play slow burn just for the love of the game. I think we actually do have to give this rush another repeat here just to stabilize the board. You can give that fella one of those, and then yeah, we will burn this thing here. Beautiful. So yeah, that's triggered. Yeah, I'm feeling actually really good now. If even doing that did not cause us to have too many issues. Yeah, still gonna play Dark Bargain. We can go here. You know what? Then let's just get rid of all the junk here. I was going to do a little bit of double firing, but I think like improving the consistency of our deck is going to be much more important than just like killing a few of these guys a little more quickly. So slow burn is going to help us refresh Firestarter again. Then we'll go here, do a little bit of funny business. Yeah, I think this will actually let me... Will it? No, it won't, because we won't get up to 3. We won't get up to 3 heat sink, unfortunately. Although I could do something similar to this. Yeah, this'll. I guess this will let us finish the fight. Finish this phase right this turn. All right. So we're now in the final phase of the Overseer. I feel pretty confident that this deck can like pretty easily respond to whatever the hell she throws at us, but you never know. Weirder things have happened in the past. We can burn one of the junk there. Both of these will be channeling Doom, which isn't the end of the world. We'll figure it out. Burn a little bit of junk there. Yeah, we can do this, which now lets us just start the train all over again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I guess something we could do right now is we can probably just immediately trigger the final phase here. Yeah, there's the final phase. Right, I think, yeah, with this we can even pick up both of the... Nope, not both, but this one Stinger Assist card cast twice should still just very easily help us finish the fight. If it doesn't, we should still be fine next turn. Yeah, Furnace has a very strong interaction with these free cards that the game provides you at this critical juncture. Letting you just like cast them twice immediately, which is pretty strong. What are we gonna do here? I think, yeah, nothing too crazy. We can just... You know what? Let's have a little fun. Let's just cast this twice as well. This will for sure kill literally everything. Alright. Well, that wasn't too hard. We managed to make like a very, very broken deck there. Just so many really, really strong things all stacked together to give us, like, I think probably one of the most broken gunner decks I've had in recent memory. Let's just do a quick little deck review here. We're gonna unlock some stuff, which is nice. Oh yes, the combo pack, very fun. Yeah, so a good time was had, mostly by me, not by many of the enemies, but it's all good. Fire, everything really popped off here. We were able to like cast it repeatedly with the help of Dark Bargain, with the help of Furnace, with the help of like itself here with the risky component. It just played our deck like 3-4 times in a row. Say hello to my little friend, definitely didn't hurt. The rest of the deck just had some very nice synergy with Bomber Mech, Red Giant, Insulation as well, just on the sidelines helping us out. Yeah, every card in this deck was a banger, and I really enjoyed my time playing it. Red Giant's interaction with the Frozen Nova Bomb was also kind of cool. Like Explosive Shield, because it doesn't have Bomb in its title, it gets the benefit from Red Giant, but doesn't get the penalty of the 1 extra heat cost. That's also really good. Yeah, in any case, like an extremely strong Roxy deck. I don't know, I just can't really say much more than that. In any case, that's going to do it for us. I can't promise daily uploads from this point on because I'm kind of getting struck with a lot of, in real life, my physical body's getting struck by a lot of responsibilities, and I can't always make the time to make these videos, but I'm going to do my best, and I'm sure you'll see a few uploads from me here and there. But in the meantime, that's going to do it for today. I'll see you whenever I see you again. Bye!